The object itself is not the light source, but it acts like a light source. Yes, Vijay, absolutely correct. So you guys can give examples, examples like moon. Yes. What else? Come on, quickly. Give more examples. Water? No. No, Abhishek, not water. What else? We discussed last day, except moon. Radium, yes, can be. What else? What else? Object itself is not the light source, but it acts like the light source. What else can be? We talked about the window curtain against the light, right? We discussed about that. Okay. Now coming to incandescence. Sorry, incandescence we have done. Now coming to translucence. What do you mean by translucence? What do you mean by translucence? Or what is translucency? What is translucency? What is translucency? Write it down quickly. Hmm. Light is absorbed by the surface, then scattered back. This phenomena is called translucence. Correct, Dinesh. Yes. So light is absorbed. First, it is absorbed inside the surface, and then it is scattered back inside the surface only. It is scattered back. This phenomenon is called translucence. Correct. Give some examples quickly. All of you, just write down examples. Translucency. Just write down examples. All of you. Quickly, guys. Just write down examples. Translucency. We discussed some examples, right? Last day. Just write it down quickly. No, cannot remember. Yes, correct. Like the human hand, grapes. Dinesh, not glass. No, glass is not having translucency. Translucence means it can happen only with the semi-transparent object. Glass is 100% transparent, so it will not scatter back from the glass. Ears, yes, ears. What else? Leaves. Leaves of the plants or trees having translucency, right? Orange, yes, correct, is having translucency. The tip of the nose, yes, can have translucency. Okay, and to be very honest, in a broad sense, not in a broad sense, like the actual term of this translucency is subsurface scattering. It is called, in our technical term, it is called subsurface scattering. So what Dinesh you have written, the light is absorbed by the surface and then scattered back. So this phenomena actually is called subsurface scattering. Okay, so inside the surface. So inside the surface, subsurfaces are there because it is layered. Okay, semi-transparent layers are there inside. Like human skin also is having. Yes, in Arnold it is called SSS, subsurface scattering. Okay, and that's how it is scattering inside the subsurfaces, and that's how the name is subsurface scattering. Okay, now coming to my next question, what do you mean by specularity? What do you mean by specularity? Okay, these are all theory questions. Almost all of these questions will come in the exam. All of these questions, either broad question or short question like that. Glossiness of the object, correct? The glossiness of the object, called the specularity. Okay, and what is the specular color? In that, what is the specular color? Color of the glossy area, correct? Color of the glossy area. Okay, now tell me, what do you mean by reflectivity? What do you mean by reflectivity? Reflection. No, you need to describe it. Reflection means if I ask you the same, like what do you mean by reflection? Then what do you mean by reflection? Or what do you mean by reflectivity? What you are going to write? Amount of environment reflected on the material. Correct. Yes. Reflection of environment. Yes. But see, reflection of environment, it is partially correct answer. Like the answer is not fulfilled. But what Sagar is writing, amount of environment reflected on the material. So it's fulfilled. The entire sentence is complete. Okay, Dinesh is writing, the amount of environment is projected on the material is the reflectivity of the material. Correct. Yes. Complete sentence. Okay. So when in theory also you are writing, make sure you are writing a complete sentence and write down to the point. Correct. Okay. One property is still remaining, that is diffuse. What do you mean by diffuse? What do you mean by diffuse? Come on, guys. What do you mean by diffuse? Amount of light is being reflected by material is diffusion of material. Correct. So the light is reflected from the surface. So the amount of light the surface is allowing actually to be reflected. The amount of light the surface is allowing to be reflected is the diffusion strength of that material. Vijay, you are correct. Yes. So why I ask these 2 points consecutively, because the reflection and the diffusion, you will think like sir is talking about the same thing, but it's not the same thing, right? So reflection is the environment is reflected on the surface, and diffusion is the material itself is allowing to reflect the light. So both are totally different. I guess it's clear inside your mind, right? Totally two different properties. Reflection is a part of specularity. Okay, so if the object is means inside the object specularity is there, reflection automatically will be there. The amount of specularity is there. Suppose 50% gloss the object is, reflection also will be 50%. Remember this. Those are proportionally connected. Okay, so specular color and reflectivity both are connected, and both will have one IOR, index of reflection. Now both are not equal actually. No, but proportionally connected. Proportionally connected. It's like, you know, if I am having money, I'll be financially rich. It's like that. Proportionally connected. I don't have money means I'm not financially rich. I can be rich from my heart, but not financially. So money and becoming rich are not the same thing, no? But those are interconnected. If I am having money, I am financially rich, proportionally connected. So both the ways, money growth is there means financial reach also growth is there. The same thing basically. So this is also the same thing. Specularity. So reflectivity basically, if glossiness is there in the object, automatically reflectivity will be there. Those are interconnected, proportionally connected. Okay, now in the case of diffusion, diffusion is a different property like specularity. Remember this. And the color we discussed that comes actually under the diffusion, because the surface is having the diffusion property. We can see the color, we can see the original hue of the object. Just remember this. So those are then interconnected. Diffusion, color, ambient color, metalness of the object, those are all interconnected. Those are all proportionally connected. I guess it makes sense. You are getting my point. Means, you know what, diffusion is very less. How much you original hue you are putting to the object doesn't matter. It will be seen less only. Okay, and suppose you have given red color to the object and diffusion is 100%, it will be very bright red, because the diffusion itself, the main property, the diffusion, like it is scattering, the object is allowing 100% red to be reflected. It's like that. So again, those are interconnected. I guess you are getting my point. But all different properties. You should understand each property separately. And why is it important? Suppose you are making something, making an object, and suppose you were making a box, and the box is of blue color, suppose blue color box you are making, and in that you can see uh, the color is not very bright, but it is a dull color box. So what can be done, in hue you have chosen blue only, suppose, but you need it dull. So what can be done, the diffusion, you just reduce it a little bit. Are you getting my point? The concept is like that basically. So the box is not allowing the blue color to be reflected 100%. So it is becoming dull, towards the dull side, and towards the dark side also. If it is not allowing, means it will appear dark to our eyes, and which is allowing 100%, it will appear basically white to our eyes. Some gloss part, suppose a red object, but the glossness is so much, uh, that particular area will appear white to our eyes because the brightness is 100%. Yeah, specular can be increased also, definitely, of an object. So according to each and every object, it will be different. All these properties will be different. Of the shoe, yes, can be done, Nitai. It's basically simple. Can be done, yes. Let us check. If I get time today itself, I'll show you. Okay, guys. Now we'll just move forward. Okay, and today I'm sure all of you are having chessboard model, right? So today I'll show you how to texture the chessboard model. All right. So let's present. Is it visible? Is my screen visible to all of you? Okay. Okay. So first of all, I need a chessboard. I don't know I have kept it or not. I'll just check. I don't have a chessboard, but not a problem. Quickly, I will make a chessboard. Okay. I'll not take too much time. So I'll just try to do it very quickly. Okay, and then surface and revolve. So I'll just select the curve. I'm going to curve and reverse direction. And actually, I'm going to create only one coin. Okay, not more than that. History. Just reduce it a little bit and delete this curve. Okay, I'm going to arrange this. Just give me some time. And now let's create a square shape. And if you can remember, we have done planet to it, right? So deselecting the surfaces, duplicate, For now, I'm just keeping it like this only. Board, I already showed you how to make it. So I'm not wasting time in that. So what can be done? Let's make it a little bigger. Okay. So suppose this is my board, and what about this one? I will just click off the grid. This can be of 8 divisions, so I'll just rebuild it. Let us check. So 4 by 4 I selected, so I'm getting 4 by 4. So I have to make it 8 by 8 and apply. So I'm getting 8 by 8 now. So just click it on. Now quickly I'll select it, right? And I'll just place it over there. It's all right. And very quickly I'll just place it. Okay, so I'll just duplicate it and I'll place in this side also. I'll duplicate it and I'll place over here also. But the front one, I'll just scale it down. So on its own place, it's scaling it down. It's all right. Now, once again, duplicate and let's keep it over here. So this will be my chessboard. I'll just save it. Okay, now let's start texturing it. As we have seen the last day, we have done, sorry, going to the render setting. Hope you people can see, right? Okay, so instead of Arnold, last day you have seen, I have used Maya software. So we are talking about the Maya software only. Okay. So now in that, let's close it. And it's like this. Okay. And if we do IPR rendering, so it will be automatically updated. Right? Last day we have seen this. Okay. And another thing is just click over here how much the frame is visible. So when you will render it, that frame actually is going to be rendered. So if you zoom in a little bit like this, then what will happen? See, that frame is rendering. Right? Okay. So first of all, let's go to the Hypershade. Coming to the Hypershade. And over here, okay guys, now let's just analyze. Let's say it is made of wood. Okay. The coins are made of wood. Just imagine. These are made of wood. So what kind of material should I use? Just All of you just analyze and tell me what kind of material should I use for this. What do you think? Sagar is writing Lambert. Dinesh is also saying Lambert. Lambert. Okay. Now, just let me tell you something. If it is a wooden coin, then anything made of wood like that, we generally polish it, isn't it? We varnish it on the top of it. Then it should have a little bit of specularity. It's not anymore a matte surface. Wood by default will be matte surface, but if it is polished, generally whatever we use out of wood, we generally varnish it. Varnish means weather coating. We do weather coating, right? So what kind of material? Okay, so Asta Vijay Nita is saying Blin. Okay, because Blin is having a little bit of specularity, isn't it? So I also feel so. I could have taken Lambert, but I'm not going to take Lambert because later on it should look like the wood is polished. That is the reason I'm using Blin. Okay, so this is the first Blin, and double click on it, and let's rename it as wood white. So this will be the white side. I need to create two materials, isn't it? So one side will be white side, one side will be the black side. Okay, so this is the white wood. So selecting all the objects, right click on it, assign material to viewport selection. You can see we are getting little bit of specularity, right? So now what I'm going to do, I need to convert it into a wooden material. So just zooming in this area, and if you can see over here also it is written IPR, so directly you can click on it and you can do IPR rendering, right? I am sure you have done it in lighting lecture already. So whatever I will be doing over here, it will be updated. Now guys, this is the default light shape, so I'm just keeping it aside. Now coming to the textures, we are having, you can see two kinds of textures, 2D textures and 3D textures. So inside the 2D texture, you can see some textures are there, and inside the 3D textures also some textures are there, right? So now what is the difference between these 2D textures and the 3D textures? Let us understand. I'm going to the 2D texture and let's take a grid maybe. So this is a grid, I'm taking it, and going to the 3D texture, let's create a leather. So this is a leather texture. Both the textures and the connections are looking very, very similar. But some differences are there. So what is the difference? One extra node is connected with the texture. Over here also one extra node is connected with the texture. All of you can see this, guys? Just tell me, all of you can see this? Okay. So now this extra node, it is called placement node. You create any texture, one placement node will be connected to it. And you create any material, one shading node will be connected to it. Just remember this. You create any material, one shading node will be connected to it. You create any texture, one placement node will be connected to it. Is that okay? Understood? Okay. Now, you can ask, sir, what is this shading node? Can you remember when we were discussing uh, about the input node and the output node? I talked about the example of output node is a shading node. So this is that shading node. Because of this shading node in the viewport, we can see the shaders are there and the material is assigned to it. Right? We have done that time. Okay. So this is that shading node. We talked about that time. This is an output node. This is the example of the output node. Because of this, we can see this object. Okay. Now in the texture, this is called the placement node. Placement node. Okay. Then what is the use of this placement node? When we are assigning the texture, we need to place the texture, isn't it? Suppose we are assigning a texture, a text is there. Text is coming somewhere else. I want the texture exactly in front of the camera. So what we'll do? We'll go to the placement node and we'll change the placement of this particular texture. So that is the job of this placement node. Okay. So this is called in 2D texture. There will be connected a 2D placement node. Can you see? Place 2D texture. So this is called 2D placement node. And here it is written place 3D texture. So this is a 3D placement node. This is the only difference between 2D textures and 3D textures. Are you getting my point? So if in the exam, different questions can come. Describe 2D placement, describe 2D textures and 3D textures. Or same question, a different kind. Describe the difference between 2D texture and 3D texture. All of you just can write it down. The questions I'm telling. Describe the differences between 2D textures and 3D textures. This also can come. In that time, you need to describe this. That 2D textures, in 2D textures, 2D placement node will be connected to it. In 3D textures, 3D placement node will be connected to it. Okay, and then further you can discuss a little bit. That I'll just show you what else you can discuss. Now, then what is the difference between this 2D placement node and 3D placement node? I'm selecting 2D placement node. Can you see the attribute? Only X and Y, two axes are there. But in 3D placement node, X, Y, Z axes are there. So what you can write the next, while you are describing, in 2D placement node, we can manipulate only the X, Y axis. But in 3D placement node, we can manipulate the translation or rotation or scale of the X, Y, and Z, all the three axes. I guess now it is a little bit fine. The concept is easier to you, the 2D placement node and the 3D placement node. Okay, this is the difference between 2D textures and 3D textures. So I'll just delete this. I don't need it. One more thing, guys. I have created these textures, no? So just go to the texture tab. Can you see? So these two textures I have created. So you can see this inside this tab, texture tab. So utility. These two placement nodes are coming actually from this utility. So utilities are basically supporting nodes. So many utilities are there. So all the utilities definitely, to be very honest, you are going to use almost 90% of the utilities, but we don't know we are using these utilities. So gradually I will tell you. So in this area, see, from the utility you are getting these nodes. So out here, if you can see, just let me check over here, 2D placement, 3D placement. So these two, whenever you are creating a texture, automatically you are using these two utilities. from the utility. Okay, you don't know those are utilities, but now you know these are basically the utilities you are using. Okay, so suppose write a short note on utility. Write a short note on utility. So now you know, okay, 2D placement node and 3D placement node are utilities. So that can be examples of utilities. So utilities are supporting nodes, and then you just need to write down the examples. So today we got the first example, 2D placement node and 3D placement node. Later on, I'll show you more utilities. Okay. So for now, 2D texture and 3D texture. Now I'll just delete this. Okay. Now our job is to convert this into wood. So let us check if we are having wooden texture. So I'm just going to W and I can see in 2D texture there is no wood. In 3D texture, wood is there. Can you see wood? You can use external texture also. But for now, wood is there internally, so I'm going to use the wooden texture. And this is a 3D texture, so 3D placement node is connected to it. Okay. Now just click on it. Can you see the color property? So what we have to do basically over here, how to connect it. This is the material and you can see the color property. And this is the texture and you can see the out color. So what you need to do, from here to color, we need to connect. Now what happened basically, can you see? Wooden texture has come. Okay. Another way to connect it, I'll just show you. So just click on it and drag it, it will be disconnected. So selecting it, this is the color property. So just drag, middle mouse, drag and drop on it. The same thing you are doing. And if it is converted into this arrow, means something is connected to it. A texture is connected to it. Is that okay? Third way to do it. Yes, any question?
So means only middle mouse button dragging only for
Yeah,
selecting
yeah.
also.
Middle mouse, drag and drop. Yes. Okay. Now another way to do it, the same thing. Okay, the same thing. Uh, with some other property, I'll just show you. Suppose the transparency, you want to connect something, connect a map. So can you see this checker box? Just click on it and just browse wood. So suppose you want to browse wood, so just wood browse and automatically it will be connected. But what I think you should know where and what you are connecting. So this connection is the best. This connection, then you know from which node to which node you are connecting. You will learn better. I feel so personally. Okay, so this is how we generally connect our texture. Now coming to this is I have assigned wood, but this is not looking very much like a wood. Okay, I need to do a little bit adjustments. So what can be done? Just close it. Something is there at the center. So if I select the placement node, so this is the placement node. My object is over here, but the placement node is over here. So this is a problem. So I actually, so pressing 6. Yeah. So in the viewport, the wood is visible, but definitely in the viewport, you will not exactly what is going to be rendered. That is the problem. You are not going to get that. Okay. So what I'm going to do basically, just check. If I move it, can you see my texture is also changing? And this should occupy the entire area, isn't it? Then only we can get a proper kind of texture. Okay. So how to do that? So just select this, and over here, one option is there that is called fit to group box. Fit to group box. Okay. So when you will click on it, wherever the objects are assigned with that particular material, it will be fit with those objects. So just check. Can you see? It's fitting the object with that scaling. So now let's just check. I'm going to the IPR render once again. Now it's fitting. Now it's becoming better. So just click the bounding box. Now it's becoming better. Okay. Now still it is not perfect. Okay, not looking perfect wood. So now I am going to the wooden texture to it. So previously what I have done, that was from the 3D placement node, I interactively placed it, fit to group box. Okay, I placed it. Now I am coming to the texture. So selecting the texture. So this is the filler color. So this is basically the wood color. What I think it can be a little bit more saturated, because it will be varnished, no? So automatically varnished wood will look a little bit saturated in color. Okay, that's fine. This is a vein color, so all the veins you can see. So basically it is taking color from here. So what I am thinking, it can be a little lighter but saturated but little lighter, barely it will be visible, the veins. Okay, now the next thing is so many layers are there. Can you see? So many layers are there, right? So many layers are there. Can anybody tell me, like, how the layers are created? Like for one layer, how much time the tree will take to create one layer? Just tell me, if anybody, how much time a tree takes to create that one layer? Any idea? How much time a tree takes to create that one layer? One layer means from here to there. From here to there, this in between these two layers, to grow this much, how much time a tree takes? I'm asking that. Any idea? No, I know months, but how much time a tree takes? In between, there is a specific time. Yes, Nita, you were absolutely correct. Not maybe, but that is the correct answer. 1 year. Yes. Yeah, that is the through those layers only we can understand the age of a tree. Okay. So these are basically the age marks of a tree. So now you can understand so many layers means this tree is having approximately 25 years of age, and 25 years means how big this coin is. Are you getting my point? The scaling of the coin. So it has to be hardly 2 layers, isn't it? 2 or 3 layers. This entire coin should have. Then only it will become a small wooden coin. I guess why I am discussing this, you've understood now. The scaling problem is there just to uh, show you the problem. So now over here, there is one option called edge. Edge. So what I am going to do, just reduce the edge. I'm making it, let's say 3 or maybe 2, but still these are too many. Okay, so just to manipulate it, there is something called layer size. So now it is 0.05. I'm making it 0.02. Oh, sorry, just the opposite. Layer size, I'm making it smaller means the distance is becoming smaller. So let's say 1. Much better. So, but it's too much actually. Let's make 0.5. Much better. Okay. So from here to here, the tree took 1 year. So approximately three years. Tree, yeah, can have this much. Like this coin can be. Okay. So this is logically looking fine, looking better logically. Okay. Now the thing is, all the coins are getting same texture. This cannot be. Actually, can be. can be made of the same slice of the wood, then it can be basically. But then also naturally it will not happen. So I'll show you something called noise attributes. Okay, noise attributes. Can you see small dots here and there? That also can be, that color also can be managed through this color, grain color. So you can change this also, right? Now here is the noise property, amplitude. I'm just making it a little bit more, and the noise Y also I'm making it a little bit more, and now you can see it's changing. All the coins are getting different textures. Can you see that? Okay, and here is also ripples. So ripples also, if you want to make it a little more distorted, can you see this? It's looking distorted now. Now it is not horizontal, a little bit distorted here and there. Okay, looking more like wood, becoming better. Okay, fine. Now lastly, I'm going to the material. So first we worked with the placement of it, then tweaked the texture a little bit, then going to the material. Okay, so in the material, this was the color. So common material attribute, almost we have done everything. Translucency definitely will not be there. Transparency, no. Ambient color, no. Incandescence, no. So there is no problem. And I'm going to the specularity now. So specularity, maybe it is a little bit too much. So the best thing is when you just need to reduce the specularity, rest of the things are okay. So what can be done? This specular color, just reduce a little bit. Can you see? I am reducing this. Now it is without varnished. This wood is looking like wooden only, but without varnished. Okay, so adding a little bit polish to it. So now it is varnished. Now it is varnished. So now it's becoming like a metal. So wood cannot have this much. So very little. Okay, I'm keeping this much. Guys, this much you understood, all of you? Understood what I have done so far? Okay. Okay. Now
Sir,
this one, yes. Who's that?
sir, I have tried Sagar sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir, मैंने ट्राई किया प्लेस 2D टेक्सचर करने का, मतलब मिडल माउस बटन से। एक बार सर बताओगे?
No, first of all, guys, first of all, if you would be in the classroom, you would have known now, for now, that when I am teaching, parallelly don't work. Literally, personally, first of all, I don't like it. Okay, because you are going to miss so many things, because you are working and not looking what I am doing. Don't do that, first of all. Okay, when I am done with my lecture, after that you work. Okay, so placement, yes, once again I'll show you, but check carefully, because I generally am going very slow and trying to clear each and every step. Okay, so just be very careful, you will understand everything. Okay, so this was the white side we have done. Now what I'm going to do, don't you think I almost set everything? So if I just duplicate it, then everything will be done for me. So just selecting everything, Control C and Control V. Selecting over here, see over here, can you see wood white and pasted wood white. Okay, so selecting over here and clicking on this, show input and output connections. So three options are there. First one, show input connection, show input output connection, and this one, show output connection. So I'm selecting this and show input output connection. So this is the pasted one. So all is intact, right? What I'm going to do, selecting this side, right click on it, assign material to the selection, just rename it wood black, enter. Okay, wood black. Now the problem is, just select the placement node. Can you see the objects are this side, but the placement node is this side? So the placement node should go that side, isn't it? So for that, what we should do? Once again, nothing. Placement node is selected, and just click on fit to group box. So now the placement node has come to this side. So like this, you need to work. Understood? Okay. Now, so placement node's job is done. Now going to this wood. So this is the black side. Black side. Once again, IPR. Now both the sides are looking same, right? So this is selected. Filler color. This time it is a black wood. Black wood means definitely it will not be black, but it will be dark, very dark. So I'm going towards the darker side. I guess you are getting my point. More saturated means generally when how to add color to the wood, they use a toner with the varnish. So that's how the wood become darker. So for the vein color also, it has to be a little bit dark. So I am making it more saturated and darker. So automatically that will be the lighter side, this will be the darker side. So let's make a little bit desaturated. Okay, still this is the wood only, and instead of yellow, let's go little bit towards the orange side. Not too much. Okay, little more darker. Okay, the grain color also should be very dark, otherwise grain will not be visible at all. So this was the grain color. Now can you see, this is the bright wood and this is the very dark wood, right? So coming once again, and you can see this is once again the default light, keeping it aside. So the texture is done. Now coming to this material, in the material also I already have changed it, the specular color, so that is also done. Okay, just close it. So when everything is done, so what can be done, just select these two bounding box, Control H. It's not going, it should go basically. It's showing it's hidden, but it's actually still it is visible. Anyway, it is not going to create any problem over here. So now let us render something from this view. Okay, you can see the darker side and the lighter side we are getting. Okay, now let's come to the board. So for the board, let's take, go into the surface and let's take a bleen for the board. Okay, so the bleen is selected, click on this. So we are getting all the connections of the bleen, right? Show input output connection, and automatically means obviously you need to change the name of it, board. Selecting on it, right click, assign material to the selection. So this will be the board. Now in this board, checker pattern should be there, isn't it? So for that, once again, I'm going to the 2D texture, and this time in 2D texture we are having the checker pattern. So I'm just selecting it, checker pattern. So the board is selected, and if you can remember, I can drag and drop on color or out color to colors. That also can be done. So this is selected, right click, drag and drop on color. Let us check. By default, it is all right. If in your case it is not coming, the number is not coming proper, what can be done? Go to placement node. Suppose you need it less. What is coming, that is more. So what can be done? Repetition UV, make it 2 or 2. So now it is less. You wanted to make it more. So you could have made it 16 by 16. It will be like this. So repeat UV. So you are doing it from placement node, right? In this case, I need not 8 by 8, 4 by 4. This repetition is working for me. All right. Okay. Now, what I am thinking, the black should be granite and the white should be marble. Okay. I guess you are getting my point, what I'm saying. This should be granite. So many boards are there made of stone. Okay. Beautiful boards are there. So it can be granite. It can be made of marble. So how to do that? Let's check. Going to the checker box. So placement nodes job is done. Going to the checker box. We are having color 1, color 2. Guys, just give me 1 minute. I'll connect the charger. All right. So in the checker texture, we are having color 1 and color 2, right? So white and black. And you can see in this white, if I select yellow, it will become yellow. Now, don't you think I can attach a texture also then in this, because the checker pattern is there, I can see. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Just selecting it and going to the 3D texture. So this is the lighter color. So I am selecting marble. Marble has come, and now this connection will become a little bit more. And you can see in this out color with the checker, the marble is connected. Right? Once again, select the checker. Now the black color. Click on it, and I am taking what I told to take. Let's go to the 3D granite. Yes, maybe granite. Okay, and you can see the black portion is getting the granite, the white portion is getting the marble. Then in this, so you can see with a checker, this is the checkers placement node, and these are the two textures I have created for the black portion and the white portion, right? And definitely these are also having the placement node. So what will be my job? Going to this placement node, fit to group box, going to this placement node, fit to group box, right? So now just doing IPR, you can see I'm getting something like this. Now, you know what? Just come over here, and this is the default light, keeping it aside. Now, suppose marble, okay? White and vein color this one, and contrast I feel is looking a little bit too much, so less contrast. Okay, and what I'm thinking, the veins could be a little bit instead of red, some marble can be of greenish bluish color, isn't it? That also can be given, something like this. But with granite, I think we need to keep something like this. Can be towards the lighter side. Okay, but I want a little more repetition to it. Okay, just to make it a little realistic. So marble. So selecting this, and what I should do. This was the placement node. Just scaling it down a little bit. Can you see? I am just increasing its repetition. Can you see? It's becoming smaller and smaller. So definitely something like this can be done. Okay, so this was the marble pattern. We are getting each box. You can see we are getting the marble pattern. And now going to the granite. So in granite also, what I feel, that the scaling is looking at, though it's fitting the group, the scaling is a little bit too much. So just reducing the scaling, it will look better, because the chessboard, though very small object, but then also it could be a little more. Okay, now go to the color of it. So this is the granite texture. What I'm doing, so I'm just darkening the pattern, right? Just darkening the pattern. And from here also, the cell size, you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. From here also, that can be done. Okay, now let's render with normal software. Everything is fine, but in this, one thing is not happening. Okay, I think we should create a light, then it will look better, isn't it? So let's create maybe a spotlight. So let's create a spotlight. I could have used Arnold also, but because I'm using everything in software, so I'm showing everything in software. Okay, now let's render it. How is it looking? It's looking like this. Going to IPR. The light is selected. Going to the light shape and increasing the penumbra angle. Cone angle can be a little less. Something like this. I need to go to the shadow and create depth map shadow. Can you see we are getting the depth map shadow? Okay, and then filter size, I'm just making it 5, and now it is a little bit blurred, right? I'm getting something like this, but one thing still we are not getting, the coins reflection should be there on the board. guys, another thing you should do, I just skipped it. The sides also, you need to add some stone texture, or it also can be wooden. Okay, the sides. So the same wooden pattern you need to create to the sides. Okay. Anyway, so the reflection of the coins should be there on the board. So that is not there in this. So what can be done? Instead of depth of shadow, we could have created the ray trace shadow also. Okay, in lighting you must have done this, so you know how to do this. So for that, what I need to do, I'm going to the render setting, and inside Maya software, I'm going to the ray tracing quality. Inside ray tracing, clicking on ray tracing, okay, and reflections and refractions. So 1/6. All right, I am keeping it like this only. Just render. Can you see we are getting some reflection, isn't it? Let us check. Let us check from this side also. Can you see we are getting the reflection? Even on the coin also we are getting the reflection. Okay, so we have to be careful because these reflections are a little bit too much. So we need to reduce the reflectivity of it, of the coins. Okay, so selecting this, going to its material. So through the object selection also, you can go to the material. So how I did that? Instead of going directly to the hypershade, just select the object and see wood white. So if you have named the node properly, it will be very easy for you to quickly access it. So I'm going to this, and over here you are having reflectivity. Okay, so I'm making it, let's say 0.2. Let us see. Can you see? The reflectivity of this is much lesser than this one. So I'm selecting this also, and reflectivity means the environment reflection on it, right? So the board is being reflected or projected to this surface. So that's what I'm reducing. So this one also making it 0.2, right? In Arnold, basically, if you are reducing the specularity, automatically that also will be reduced. But in software, manually, you should do it. So now we are getting the board reflection also, and this reflectivity also is controlled, limited. I guess you were getting it. So in lighting, basically, I have given only one spotlight. So if you are rendering with Arnold, so do a good lighting. Okay, with area light and some bounce light, do 3-point lighting to it, to your to your chessboard, and you can get a very good result. Okay, but the lighting should be very interesting. So the next, whatever you are going to do, I will expect from your side the chessboard nicely textured and nicely illuminated, and then you are submitting the image, the JPEG image, the final output, render output you have got, that you need to submit to me. Okay, I guess you got it what we did today, right, guys? All of you? All of you understood? Okay. Okay. Now in this, whatever we have done, just tell me or ask me if you are having any doubt or some portion you didn't understand. Any part is there you didn't understand from today's work, whatever we have done? All of you understood everything? Okay. And whatever I told you to write, all of you have written it? Okay, fine. So now, I'll just close it. What was the question, Nitai? You only asked me, no?
Yes, sir. Shoe modeling.
Okay. Shoe actually, I already did it, no? The shoe. Anyway,
वो
I can show you. Yes, in the character it was there, no?
yes, sir. But पॉलीगॉन में नहीं किए थे. Like पॉलीगॉन में proportion वो इधर उधर हो जा रहा है काटते टाइम.
No, no, no. In that character I did, no? Can you remember? In the character also shoe was there. I basically directly modeled it over there. But anyway, that can be done. So what you do, take the cube like this, right? And I have taken two divisions from each side. And let's do some adjustments. Suppose this will be the height of the shoe. Okay, so this will be the side. And suppose this will be the towards the leg or ankle. Coming to this side, definitely it should be circular. Coming to this side, also it should be circular. Okay, the initial stage will be like this, and some shoes will be there. This portion will be a little bit coming a little bit upward like this, right? Some shoes will be there. Okay, so this much is fine. Extruding like this. If you are making only the shoe, then this can be done. So making like this, okay, and delete. We generally do like that only, and then the character still will be there. And if you are making a shoe only, suppose for Nike you are making a shoe, then inside part also you need to block in, like from here also you need to extrude like this, and inside also, like the outside it is looking, inside also it should look like that, right? Now some shoes, basically this portion also should come like this. Now let's start adding the loops. Actually, there is not a certain design inside my mind. I'm just showing you the block in how you could go with this. Okay. Now, in this particular area, most of the shoes in this particular area, what I'm feeling right now is this area, no? Should go a little bit like this. Right? So this middle area should be like this. Then I'm taking another look in this area. This should be a little bit thin, going to the top view. Now in this, we have to do a little bit adjustments. Previously, what we have done, same adjustments can be there. Now, in this area also, I'm giving more looks like this, right? So this is the inside, this is the outer side. So what I'm doing now, like this, push it inside. Now you are making it like a shoe according to its design. Actually, still some shape is not there in my mind. I'm just keep doing it, showing you the blocking. This can go a little bit inside. Okay. Now this area you can see can go a little inside, can come a little bit downward. That's fine. Here also the same thing, can come a little bit downward. Okay. In this area also, it can come a little bit downward. Even this one. Okay. Then what you can do? So once again, because the insert edge flow is on, I'm facing this again and again. When you will feel like my blocking is fine according to my reference, I'm not taking any reference. That is the reason uh, I'm having no shape in my mind actually for now. I'm just making like a shoe, not a shoe, like a shoe. Okay. So when everything is done, it is looking like a design. Just click on this, extrude it a little bit. Like some shoes, it will be a little bit more. Some shoes, it will be very thin. Some shoes, something like this. Okay, means the bottom border you are creating. So it's better if you are creating this. Okay, something like this. Now, in these areas also, I have to add another loop, and then when actually it will be done, all the hard edges we need to bevel it. We know that. Okay. I'm getting something like this. It's looking like a shoe of a baby because of the proportion. This and this almost same. And in adults, actually, it will be a little bit elongated, looking like a baby shoe. But I guess you were getting the point, right, Nitai?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sagar, texturing part, yes, for today that is over, the texturing part. Okay, so you have to do the same thing. The chessboard texturing, just be prepared with that chessboard texturing for the next day. Then next day we'll do something else. Some other texturing we'll do. Okay. Ask me anything else is there? You are facing problems? And what about the character?
So
Yeah. Yes,
मैंने
Nitin?
आप मैंने आपसे एक बार बोला था ना कि वो विलेज के लिए हैंड पंप कैसे डिजाइन करने का
Mm-hmm.
वो बता सकते हो अभी अगर टाइम है तो.
Yes, 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 yes. See, for the hand pump, I don't know what kind of design is there in your mind. I'm just actually in your model the problem was there at the upper part, no, from where the handle is coming out.
यस लाइक उसका जो मेन बॉडी रहता है ना वो तो मेरे दिमाग में वो आराम से बना लूंगा बट द थिंग इज कि उसका हैंडल मुझे नहीं हो रहा बनाने के लिए.
Yes, 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 I can remember that. So in the handle basically, okay, I'm actually not modeling it, I'm just creating the appearance of it, like it will look something like this. So suppose the block in it, the appearance will look like this, and from here the handle will come out, and over here the tap will be there. Okay, that's the design. Suppose, just imagine. Now in this area, no, it how it will happen basically. This face, you need to extrude and you need to keep it over there, and then once again extrude and push it inside. Push it inside. What I feel, even it could be a little more narrower. So I just select it, and it could be a little more narrow. Okay, and this face is not needed. You can just delete it because after lighting also this will appear black only in shadow. So not a problem. And then the handle you were creating, suppose that's that is also a cube. Okay, over there the handle is, and in the handle basically right. So at the end of the handle, how it will be, so now make it like this. Sorry. Okay, and what I'm feeling, it could be a little more basically, and the connection point will not be very sharp, like it will be suddenly from a cube suddenly converting into a cylindrical shape. So this area should be there, and then the end part of it, like actually you will be holding this area basically.
So hello.
Yes, yes, tell me. Nitai, tell.
एक्चुअली अपना सर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में रहता ना हैंड पंप वो डिजाइन कर रहा.
Oh, I don't know. Means that's what I told you. Like the design. Whatever is coming to my mind, I just did it. So it will be like this basically.
ऐसा ना सा गवर्नमेंट स्कूल होता. एक्चुअली में वो कर्व वाला हैंडल रहता ना, एस शेप वाला.
Like something like this. I actually cannot assume what you were thinking. If you can
So
show me a reference, then I can do it.
सर क्रोम ओपन करके उस पे हैंड पंप हैंडल टाइप करो ना, वो मिल जाएगा. एस शेप में रहता हो.
Okay. Okay, let us check.
सही है.
Okay, you were talking about this one.
यस सर.
Okay, this is also not very difficult. Okay, if you are making something like this, see the internal connection means how much is visible over here. That you need to assume. If you have seen it closely, then you know. Like what I am feeling. This side also and that side also should be there. No, this one.
यस सर. यस सर. बीच में गैप
And
होता है.
this will be inserting inside.
यस सर. वो जिस पे कलर नहीं है वो वाला रॉड, और उसको नट बोल्ट से होल्ड उसको करते हैं.
Okay, so how much I can assume this? Okay, so the handle part, how much I can assume it? Let's open it outside. So one second, start with a cube only. Starting with this cube, just rotating it a little bit. These are not very difficult. Just by looking at the object, you need to decide on the spot what needs to be done. Okay. Right. And increasing the divisions. Something like this. What I feel, the 1 minute. This cube could be little smaller, right? Something like this. Actually, I never have seen this basically. That's why I'm facing a little bit difficulty in visualizing. Anyway, so you will start like this, okay? And when it is done, edit, delete by type history. Still, I am doing a little adjustments. And I feel it come a little bit like this. Last one could go like this. Okay, now over here, these two faces, these two faces. I'm selecting. Bringing it like this. So like this. Something like this. Okay, and this one, let's make it like this. See, I'm doing the blocking only. Now my job will be immediately when everything is done. Another thing I am feeling like to add this one. Sorry, just go insert edge flow off, because hard surface modeling insert edge flow you should keep it off. So this is a hard surface. So it should be like this. Once again, going to the side view. It should be circular in shape. And over here also, it should be circular in shape. Something like this. When everything is done, double clicking. Just check everything else. And you know, bevel. Segments 2. More fraction. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Getting something. Understood? Now this and that side again, we need to model separately, this side and that side. And over here I can see a bolt, so that also you need to model separately like that. This rod you need to model separately. How the manufacturing, real manufacturing is, accordingly you need to model it. Okay, Nitai, I guess you were getting the point now. You were asking this only?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So now can I share?
Yeah. Sagar?
Yes, sir. I want to share my character.
Yes, please do it. Sagar, please do it. Okay, so I will just stop presenting. Sagar, are you presenting?